Pederson. Welcome to the Moms Making Money Show. I have an extra special guest today, and we are going to talk about, obviously, same as usual. We're talking this season about confidence and how to overcome those self-doubts that creep up on you when you are just starting out your business. So if you are here live, please be sure to comment, show Courtney some love. And if you're catching this on the replay, just type in the replay so that we know you were here. Also, Courtney has an amazing gift for us, so stay till the end so you can learn all about this gift and what she's put together just for you guys. And I have an exciting announcement, and Courtney doesn't even know about this yet, Courtney actually does know about this. As of this week, we've decided that we are going to take the Moms Making Money show and it's going to become a podcast. So you'll later be able to catch this episode of Courtney's feature on the podcast. So stay tuned and we will let you know when that is live. It is so exciting.
That is exciting.
So Courtney, not only are you going to be featured here today, you're going to be on a podcast too. So once we get all that, once we get all that situated, you'll be able to share that as well with your followers. Also, too, some other exciting news where we debuted yesterday, the Recipe for Success and the Moms Making Money retreat. So be sure you check that out. You might even just see Courtney there on the retreat. So let's dive in and get started. Courtney's a friend of mine, and I just love her. She's a Beachbody coach, and she's found some serious success in a lot of different ways. She has transformed her body, she's transformed her mindset, and she is growing a business, like a legitimate income earning business. But the thing that I think that is so different about Courtney is she has a no nonsense, no excuses, like badass approach to the way that she operates and the way that she runs her business. So Courtney, oh, we've got Debbie here. She says, hi there, ladies. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for tuning in. Courtney, tell us a little bit about how you got started in your business as a Beachbody coach and in health and fitness and all that stuff. Hi, Seneca. Is it Seneca?
Yeah, Seneca.
Okay.
She's one of my
Hey. Tell us a little bit about your story, like just how you even got, how the opportunity came up for you.
Well, it's so funny because like I've always loved sports. I've always been into sports, and growing up, like being honest, like I never had an issue like being fit. I definitely was self-conscious. I definitely had body image issues, but I never had an issue like I ate whatever I wanted, but I didn't eat good, you know what I mean? And so when I got pregnant with my daughter, everyone was like, oh, eat for two, you're pregnant, eat for two. And I was like, oh, an excuse to eat? Sure. So when I first got pregnant with Brooklyn, I weighed about 111 pounds. And when I gave birth to her, I weighed 206.
Oh.
And I was very naive and thought like, oh, it's just, I'm going to give birth to her and all my weight's going to fall off and I'm just going to be back to the way I was. And that was obviously not the story. Huge slap in the face for me because I just like tried to go back to normal life, and normal life was not normal anymore. It was just like the things that worked before didn't work anymore. And I spent a good like 16 months, like up and down, you know, trying diet pills, trying wraps, trying the next best thing. And I would lose the weight. And then I would gain it back. I would lose it. I would gain it back. I would lose it. I would gain a pound. Yeah. And just like depressed, happy. It was terrible. And then I started following this girl from high school who had gained a lot of weight and lost it. And I finally was like, okay, what are you doing? Like, I need help. Please help me. And she told me what she was doing. She told me what it cost. And, you know, I was that person who was like, oh, well, you know, I can't do that. I can't do that for at least 3 months. And then finally I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, I need to do something. I'm depressed. Like, I just need to try it. And so I did. I bought my first challenge pack, my first program, which is obviously different than how it works now. But
right.
I committed to doing it. I did not commit to changing my eating habits. I committed to working out every single day and replacing one meal a day with Shakeology. That was all I did. And I lost all my baby weight. And all the stuff, like I was sharing my journey as more of like a accountability. Like, I know if I posted I worked out, like it was just for me. It was just a thing for me. And then people started asking me like what I was doing, how they could do it. And like I started coaching without even knowing I was coaching. So it was like me and 4 girlfriends, and we had our little group on Facebook. And then they just started being like, dude, like, you need to help more people. Like, you need to help people feel good about themselves. Like, you're badass at this. And I was like, oh, I guess I could try doing that. And that's just kind of how it started for me. And so then I was like, okay, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try this. And for the first year and a half, 2 years, it was super just like, I just wanted to, like, you know, be able to buy groceries, go to Target, and not have to get yelled at by my husband for spending, you know, $300 that wasn't necessary. And then it turned into like, okay, everybody needs to learn how to feel this way. Everybody needs to learn how to love their bodies. Everybody's body is different, obviously, and being fit and happy and in shape is going to look different for everybody, but everybody should experience it. And so that's, you know, how I got started. And that's why it just, I want to share with everybody that, you know, it's what works for you is not going to work for me, but I have the tools to set you up with what's going to work for you. I'm going to stick by your side to, hey, let's try this. And if in 10 days you're like, this is not, I'm depressed, this is not working for me. It's like, okay, what wasn't good about it? Let's try something else. And I'm going to help you figure out like what, you know, that's what happened to me too. So that's just kind of, that's how it happened for me.
Yeah. And having had 2 kids recently, like I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, I can totally relate to this. Like, wait a minute. Like, and after my first son, I didn't have a ton of problem, like keeping the weight off while I was pregnant because I was so sick. So for me, it was almost like the opposite of your story. It's like, I think I gained like 17 pounds during my pregnancies. But then after, I'm like, oh my God, I can eat again. Like, oh my God, like the food, it like tastes so good and it stays in my belly. And so then that's like, for me, like, so like I said, like the total opposite. And now I'm kind of like, crap, like I got to get it together. Well, I gotta do something different. And
before I got pregnant with my second son, like I really wanted to learn the proper way. So I decided to get certified. So I am a certified personal nutritionist. Nice. Pre and postpartum and children's nutrition too, because I grew up like not knowing how to eat. It's like, being honest, like I had no idea what to feed my children, right. You know, like I realized it's not rocket science, but I didn't know what they needed and didn't need. So I did take that route and become certified. And it helped with my pregnancy with Wyatt because I didn't know that you didn't need extra calories the first 2 trimesters. Like your body doesn't need it. So yeah, I had a great pregnancy with Wyatt and it came off really easy with Wyatt, but I suffered with a pretty hardcore postpartum depression with Wyatt. Right. So the fact that I had built this community with all these other women really helped me to be able to like reach out to other people and get through it easier, than had I been alone.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Having that networking, and especially if, you know, somebody in that community, if they're like, yeah, I had that too. And my doctor, she told me, she's like, because I had postpartum anxiety, I didn't get depression. I got really bad like anxiety. She's like, it's always worse. Like the more kids you have, the worse it gets. Like, so might not have even had it after the first one, but if you had it, then it's worse with the second one. And so I was kind of like, oh yeah. And so I relate to that. You know, it's a little different, obviously, but having somebody, you know, in your corner who gets it, who's like, oh, it's only going to last for this long, or, you know, do these different things. And it really helps, you know, like as a coping mechanism or whatever. And even like,
and I didn't have that with Brooklyn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I tell a lot of people I reach out to that are eventually going to have babies. I'm like, if you know you're going to have a baby, like you want to create this tribe now, like you want to be friends with. So I just had a customer who just had her first baby and like, she's just got cleared and she's already back to working out. She's been asking all of us so many questions about nursing and this and that. And she's like, oh my God, like I would have never known how to do any of this stuff. Like had I not asked you guys first. And it's like, I didn't have that with Brooklyn. Right. I had no idea. I thought I was a crazy person. I was like, oh my God, I don't like her. Like everyone's going to think I'm a terrible person. It's like, no, that's how everybody feels.
Right, right. And it's funny because for me, like my little community of people was like, because even my sister didn't live in town at the time, and even my best friend, her kids are a bit older, so we didn't go through it at the same time. But like, there were four of us at the office job that I had, and it's like we all took turns being pregnant. Like I think at one point we were all pregnant at the same time, both like for both of my pregnancies. So like one girl, her name is Stephanie. She has two kids, and I think her son's just a little bit younger than my oldest, and her daughter's just a little bit older than my youngest. And then same with the other two. And then one of them actually managed to have three kids in that short period of time. She was busy. She's a busy girl, chasing after all three of them now. But we like all kind of compared notes, like, you know, what happens after. Like I remember one of the gals, she's like, nobody ever told me like what to expect like after, or like just the different things that like come up. And she's like, why didn't anybody like tell me this? She's like, it's not that big of a deal, but like, why was it a secret, you know? And so yeah, exactly. It's kind of, it's nice to know that, you know, there is that community feeling of more than just accountability for working out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people miss that. Like they don't realize how valuable that community aspect is. Like even like think about like us, like, yes, we've met in person, but we like instantly had a connection because of the mastermind that we're in together, and, you know, other things in our lives that we're like, oh, we have these things in common. And it's like we've been like girlfriends forever. Like it's like weird to think about like, oh, I used to not know Courtney, you know. And even same with some of the other girls, because that community is like, you know, something so cool about having that community, and that vibe is just so strong. So definitely get a community, people. If you don't have one, like find your tribe. Don't do life alone, for sure.
And the first one might not fit, and that's fine. Just, you know, find what works for you.
Yeah, and if you evolve, you evolve. No big deal. You guys might get a guest appearance from Courtney's little guys today.
Okay, come here. Let me open them for you.
So
say hi.
Hi.
This is the mom.
Hi.
So, and we get to
Wyatt.
see you guys pop in every once in a while. Hi, buddy.
Oh, I'll change you in a minute. Here, go eat.
Poopy.
Thank you. Everyone wants to know that you went poopy. Go eat. I'll be right out. Thank you.
I love it. Hey, I see we've got a bunch of viewers on. Hey, you guys, go ahead and feel free to hop in, say hi, ask Courtney your questions. If you have a question for me, feel free to post that, and we will do our best to get you an answer. So when you first got started, I know you had some, you know, you had the depression stuff going on, and obviously like the weight loss, like that's a lot on its own. What other kind of obstacles did you have to overcome? Like when you were like, yeah, okay, I'm going to expand beyond just this group of like 4 girls. Like what came up for you?
So much. And it's so funny because it still even comes up. Like, I feel like no matter where you are in life, there's going to be haters, and it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. And it takes time definitely to realize that it's not you, that it's them. So for me, honestly, just learning how to love myself and knowing that like I have that tribe, I have that husband, I have those girlfriends, my mom, that like tell me all the time that I'm badass. So it's like, why is one negative person going to tell me that, you know, affect me? Sorry.
That's okay. You guys, this is like real life. Like this is what it looks like to be a mom.
That's what I do all day long.
Owner. It's a juggling.
But in the beginning, I can remember getting nasty messages or nasty comments and like totally being down and out for like weeks at a time, and like not wanting to work out, you know, and binge eating and doing all those kinds of things. Right. And it took me a while to realize like, now you're hurting yourself. You're not doing anything. Like they have no idea that you're doing this. They don't even know that it affected you, right. You know? So all you're doing is hurting yourself, your family. Now your kids are unhappy. So what I do now is like, I still get it. I'm sure if some of you guys watching, or if you follow me, you've seen like, I get people who tell me like, oh my God, you don't look very good for how much you work out. And I'm like, I work out 30 minutes a day. That's really not a lot. You know what I mean? And I give myself, thank you. I give myself that 5 minutes of like, that pissed me off. Like, you know what I mean? And then like, I'm like, okay, over it, done. Like, give yourself the 5 minutes, give yourself the 2 minutes, whatever it is.
Yep.
Or, you know, take it, like I used to take it out on myself and eating, and now I take it out with my workouts. I go harder in a workout, and it's like, it makes me feel 10 times better than eating that donut.
but you still allow yourself to have a donut once in a while. It's not like,
yeah. Well, donuts aren't my thing. Donuts always sound like a great idea. And then every time I eat one, I'm like, man, this donut sucked.
Yeah, that was a waste of a cheat day. Yeah.
For me, it's definitely beer and pasta. Like, those are I'm having pasta tonight. I had a beer last night. You know, we drank on our weekend mastermind. Like, I'm all about balance, but obviously if you do it every day, of course you're not going to be happy and fit, you know?
Right.
So.
Of course. Absolutely. And I mean, I know what program you were doing. And I remember you telling me, like, I have pasta before my workout. I have pasta after my workout.
I still do that. I eat the same things. I change my dinner every night almost, but I eat pasta before every workout and after every workout.
Yeah. So, and you guys, like, Courtney's got pretty much like 6-pack abs. So she doesn't like vegetables. I do know this.
No. I hate vegetables. They're the worst. Yes. Okay.
Aw, he's so cute. So did you have any like really strong, like, something happened like when you first got started, when you were like, no, I can't do this? Like, this just...
I've definitely had a lot of self-doubt, or even just like you see someone doing the same thing as you and they like take off. And I definitely did not take off.
Right.
But when I think back to it, anytime I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this, I think back to it, I'm like, okay, first of all, you're at home with your children. Like, you're able to buy groceries. You're able to, you know, in the beginning, it was really just like buy groceries and gas. But it's like, now I can pay for vacations. And everyone always asks me like how much I work in a day. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I work when I'm going to the bathroom, and I work when my kids are I can't sit there and say like, oh, I work for 5 hours every day. It's like, some days I don't work at all other than working out. And
right.
Some days it's like I'm working all day long because like I want to. I have so much that I want to do and share and be a part of. And then other days I'm just like, let's go to the pool today and just be present, you know? So it's but I couldn't do that 4 years ago. You know, I couldn't go on vacation whenever I wanted to, or my husband, you know, like your husband, they travel a lot for work. And I hated, before we had kids, I could never go anywhere with him. And now I love that it's like, oh, you're going to Santa Barbara? Like, I want to go to Santa Barbara. Let's go.
Right.
So,
and you've never done that in your 9-to-5 job. You
know,
and
I used to work every weekend, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My husband would be off, obviously, Sundays mostly. And we used to get in hardcore fights over the fact that, like, I don't understand why you can't have a Sunday off. And I'm like, I asked, what do you want me to do? Or I never got holidays off, and we used to fight about it. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I can't say like, oh, I'm not going to show up today. Like, then I wouldn't have had a job.
Exactly. Well, even too.
Give me 1 second. Hold on. Sorry.
This is mom life, you guys. This is like a true enactment of what it's like juggling the little guys and the business.
I had to wipe a butt.
I was just saying that this is mom life, you guys.
My kids never poop at this time. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, mom has a meeting. Like, let's all go poop.
It's how it goes. It's kind of like the one time you forget to bring a change of clothes, one of your kids will pee their pants.
I hate that. And I'm the worst at that. I am like the least prepared person. Like, everyone's always like, oh, you're probably so prepared. Like, you prepare all your meals. I'm like, I don't meal prep. I don't plan things out. Like, I'm definitely a go by the seat of your pants type of person.
But that's awesome, because not everybody's a crazy planner. Like, because I'm the crazy planner type, you know, but but the fact that you're not, and you still have like such great results, not only in your business, but like in your health and in your fitness, like the whole transformation, that makes it so awesome. Like that means anybody could do it, like real people, not just like, not just somebody who is only like dedicated to meal prepping or who gets up at, you know, 2 hours before their kids to work out. Cause that's not me. I don't do that.
I used to a lot and now I don't as much.
Yeah, but you know, it's like you get to the point where it's like, okay, your kids are there and they're like, oh, look, mommy's working out. I'm going to climb on her back and give her a little bit of extra resistance today.
Yeah, if you look at my Instagram story today, I've got, then one does, and they're like, oh, now I want to turn. And I'm like, and then I have to do the same move again. And I'm like, oh my God, now my butt's on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Debbie says, yay for pasta. Yeah, I love pasta too. So yeah, there's a lot of things that go into, you know, starting a business and wanting to start a business. And what you've created for yourself essentially is kind of, it's funny. It's so funny. Like when I do the shows, it's like inevitably something comes up in the show that I've been kind of talking about or ranting about, you know, either in my community or on my page all week. And this week it's been about freedom. So you have created a certain level of freedom for yourself. Like, you can go on vacations now. So you have, you know, the financial freedom. You have the freedom of time now because you don't have to ask somebody like, can I please have Sunday off so I can hang out with my husband today? Like, you don't have to ask that anymore. And it's not like.
That's what it was for me. Like I definitely didn't soar as fast with the whole financial freedom. But for me, it was, I wanted the freedom to take my kids to school and pick them up. You know, my parents were great, but they worked a lot. So my brother and I were latchkey kids, and we loved each other, and we were home. Like, it was the two of us all the time. But I remember wishing my mom could be around more often. So that's definitely something that I wanted to be able to do with my kids. And now I'm getting to do it. So yeah, maybe I didn't get the financial freedom as fast, but it still came. It just took twice as long. But that's because I wanted to spend more time swimming with my kids and going to the beach and stuff like that. So everyone's priorities and importances, is that even a word? Sounded weird, are different. Yeah. So, I mean, but I have coaches on my team that are like, oh, well, I don't have any kids yet, so I can just go down and soar a little bit. And you know what? They get a little bit farther than me. And I'm like, hey, that's great. Now when you're in my spot, like, you'll be like set.
Yeah. And the best part about that, like, I always like to highlight this, especially with Beachbody and like network marketing in general, is it's so different than employee mentality. So different. Like when you were working, your boss wasn't training you to take their job, but you're training all the people on your team who have signed up, you know, your downline essentially. You're training them to do what you do exactly how you do it, and you encourage them to do it better even, right? Like, so that's such a shift, I think, like, because there's so many people getting involved in network marketing, so many people getting involved in like online businesses and entrepreneurial type of stuff, like now compared to like 5 or 10 years ago. So it's shifting the way that we're working together as women, the way that we're working together as a society. It's like, no, there's a better way. Like, it doesn't have to be cutthroat. It doesn't have to be, you know, all the negativity. It doesn't have to be like, I dread my job. Like, everything is starting to shift, and it's like, we're part of that. So I think that's so cool that, you know, we're up.
I loved my job. I loved what I did, but I was not treated well at all.
Right.
So, and it's funny because when I do talk to people about like, oh, you're doing work and you're not getting paid, I'm like, you know how many times I was at an hourly job getting paid and I wasn't, like, I'm literally like sitting there twiddling my thumbs. It's like, I'd rather be creating something for myself and my family, you know, and not necessarily reaping the benefits up front, but in 2 months, like, I'm going to reap 10 times the benefit than sitting around twiddling my fingers for $8 an hour.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And there's something to be said too, I think, about being able to just have that freedom to get up in the morning and decide, like, today I'm going to do this. Like, today we're going swimming, and that's it. We're going to go to the beach. We're going to go to the pool, whatever it is. Like, or we're going to go to, we're going to go to the zoo, or, we're just going to go do different things. And, your business doesn't stop. Like, you can still check in with your people. You can still answer questions. Like when you stop.
You can do it from anywhere.
Yeah.
And for me, I think another great thing for being a entrepreneur and having your own business is that, like, I'm not very conventional. I have tattoos, and I can remember when I got this tattoo and just being so like, oh my God, people telling me like, you're never going to get a job. You're never going to be taken seriously. And it's like, and now it's like, I have purple hair, and like, it attracts the people that are like, oh my God, I want to be like you. And it's like, you can, everybody can, you can all be, who you want to be. Like, stop listening to everybody else.
Yeah. I always say I'll have what she's having effect. Like, you watch and you watch and you watch, and you're like, look at her go. Like, yeah, I want that. Like, whatever it is, whether it's like a business thing, a fitness thing, a tattoo thing, or just like a freedom thing, like a lifestyle thing. Like, when you create that, like, at first people, there's this quote, and I don't know who said it, and I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's like, first they'll ask you why you're doing it, then they'll ask you how.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
And that's so true, because at first people are like, you're going to quit your job. You're going to get rid of your steady paycheck. Like, that's like insanity. Like, I can't believe you're going to leave your job. You've been there for so long, or it's like such a good job, or blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so like, you get that. You're like, yeah, I left my job. Like, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Well, and then I was just telling someone too, I was like, it's pretty crazy, because I think back to when I did have a job, like, I took one vacation a year. And now, like, next month in June, I'm only going to be home for one weekend out of the whole entire month. And I'm traveling all the other times.
Well, look at all the places you've been just this year. Like,
yeah,
like, it's been crazy, but it's been fun.
And I don't have to take like non-paid time off, or even like worry about, using up vacation days or whatever, it's great. I didn't even get vacation days. What am I talking about?
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about like, oh my God, my boss is going to think that I'm leaving him or her in a bind. Like, it's, because it's really never a good time, like, for somebody in a 9-to-5 type of office.
And they always give you crap for it.
Yeah, because
and then it's like, you're enjoying a nice vacation, and then you're also feeling shitty because they're like, oh, you're leaving us? Like, now we have to do twice as much work. And it's like, shut up. Like, I want to go have fun.
Yeah. I used to be guilty of, like, I remember I went on a cruise with my husband before we were married, and my stepkids now. And I took my computer, like my work computer, and every day I got on and checked my emails before we did anything. And luckily we were in the same time zone, but I was just like, oh, one day I don't want to have to do this. And
it's not because you wanted to do it. You felt obligated to do it.
Yeah. And, at the end of the day, like, my boss probably wouldn't have even, like, thought anything of it if I didn't. But, yeah, I had that, like, something in me that was like, you have to check your emails every day. Like, you got to make sure that, because it was a busy time, and, a lot was going on. And I was like, oh, my God, like, nobody else knows, like, this thing or that thing or whatever. So I have to make sure I respond. And then, it ended up being fine, but I was just like, I still had to pay for the extra internet on the cruise, which wasn't any big deal. But even still, it was kind of like, one day I don't want to have to do this. And now I don't. Like, when I was in Hawaii, I got to, I do like the treetop in my community, but I did it because I wanted to, and I got to share a few different things, and it took me 20 or 30 minutes, and it was no big deal. And I got to show you guys, like, look, this is my view, and, it was kind of cool. But, hey, Amanda says, hey, girls, you both look amazing. Beautiful mamas. Oh, we love you. Now I lost my thought. Amanda, you distracted me with your kind words. But you get to choose. Like, I didn't have to post anything on Instagram. I didn't have to do the show. I could have very well been like, hey, guys, I'm going to be in Hawaii, so I'll talk to you guys next week. But I felt called to, like, share the message that I had, like, in my heart that day. So, and that's probably a lot of the same, like, with you. Like, something comes to you and you're like, oh, I got to share this now while the iron, strike while the iron's hot type of thing.
Well, it's so funny too. I get so much crap for working out, because, like, really? I was at a bachelor party last weekend, and I got up Saturday morning and worked out. I remember being at a wedding last October, and at the rehearsal dinner, afterwards at like the party, there was like some people making fun of me, like, oh, you're gonna work out tomorrow, like you're gonna kick off our butts. And I was like, I'll be working out, yeah, if you want to join me, like I don't care, you're gonna make fun of me, like I feel good about myself. So, and you know what, like I drank all night, so like I'm gonna work out to make myself feel better. It's like, that's what you're gonna give me crap for because I'm working out on vacation. Like it's not a punishment for me. I enjoy doing it. Here you go.
Yeah, and it, a lot of times it can be like, I know like in the beginning it's hard to kind of get in that groove and you're like, oh my God, my body hurts and I'm so tired. And but eventually once you get into the groove and you start feeling stronger and getting better at doing the moves, or, for me, I remember being so excited when I could do like 20 push-ups on my toes, which right now I can't do that again. But for me, it was like, yes. And that kind of stuff like keeps you going. It makes you feel good. But I don't know, like I find it funny that somebody who likely suffered a pretty sizable hangover the next day and was in bed miserable was giving you crap for doing something that made you feel better.
And it's like, there's been plenty of time. And it's so funny because I remember like working out. And then when I was done working out, I was like, oh my God, I need to puke now. Like, why did I do that? But then it's like, oh, I feel 10 times better. That's why I did it.
Right, right. Yeah, you kind of sweat it out, and then you don't feel bad, like,
and then you go take a nap by the pool, and you're good.
Yeah, but then you don't have that like regret, like, crap, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have had those extra cocktails, and I, because now I missed my workout. Now I'm off track, and then you go back to like I call it the Monday diet. Well, I'm just gonna have to start over again on Monday. Like
when it's so
you're not
like.
starting over.
And a lot of people tell me like, oh, well, you do this all the time, like, and you never have fun. I'm like, last Friday I was at a bachelorette party and I drank from 2 p.m. until 2 a.m. Like, I don't do that every day, but I'm definitely gonna. And like my husband and I are going out on a date night tomorrow night, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna go to dinner and a movie, and you know what? I'll probably have popcorn and beer.
Yeah, heck yeah. I don't like popcorn. I'm more of like a Milk Duds kind of gal. But you still have to you have to do it, because otherwise you get to a point where if you have any sort of like, if you're going only just on willpower alone, at some point you have like, at least for me, like have a breaking point, and then you're like, give me all the things that I haven't been having.
It's as soon as I tell myself I can't have something, even if I don't like it, I'm like, oh, well, you're telling me I can't have it. Like if you ask my dad too, it's like as soon as you tell Courtney she can't do something or something has to be done this way, she's like, watch me. I'm going to do it this way and show you that like it can't be done. Because that's just how I am. It's like, oh, no. We're going to do it this way and it's going to work. But it'll work eventually.
Yeah. So. And that's kind of the neat thing about it. Like the way you run your business, yeah, it's part of, a network marketing company or whatever, but you run it based on you. Like you get to run it. You get to run it how you want to run it. It doesn't have to be, puppy dogs and rainbows like this gal over here. It gets to be like badassery and tattoos and, like F vegetables and like all that kind of stuff, because you're still making it work. It's still unique to you. And it's your jam, so that's like the neat thing about like working in an online space. I even talked about yesterday, one of my videos that I was doing to promote the Recipe for Success program is like, you get to have your business and do it the way that you want to do it. Because even if you and I had the same business, we're different. Like, even though we have a lot of similarities and we like a lot of the same things, there's something that's still unique about each and every one of us. The way that we present our business, the way that, even if we use, I think, the same templates, I still think that would come across differently to different people. So that's kind of what's cool, is it's really like, there's not really any competition or anything like that. Like, like you're just
I have lots of the coaches that I train, like they all get my templates to start out with and they can use them. And I always tell them like, hey, you can use this stuff for as long as you don't have to change it if you never want to. But if you want to, like, take it and run with it. You can make it your own, or you can use my formula for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter because it looks different when you present it.
Yep. I totally agree. Amanda says exactly. So that's kind of what I think is like the neat thing, is like once you can kind of overcome some of like those fears, those self-doubts, that people like giving you a hard time, being haters or whatever, like saying like, you should get a job or you should have stayed at your job or whatever the story is. Cause it's usually different for everybody, even though it seems like there's that common thread, like what, you're going to start an online business? Like, I think like millennials, they're like, yeah, you're going to start an online business. Cause that's like, you know, they grew up and they don't even remember like dial up for the most part. They're like, what, there wasn't the internet? What's an encyclopedia? You know, like, so it's a little bit different for them even than like our age group. And especially people who, you know, are in an older category than us even. So for them, it's like, it makes perfect sense to be on the internet and doing things on the internet and growing an online business. But a lot of people don't get it, and that's okay. They don't have to get it. But the cool thing is once you're in, like with your tribe or whatever, whether it's in a mastermind or it's in, you know, a community like what you've built with your team, you guys are really a team. You know, like a real team. Like you think about like a football team or a soccer team or any other kind of team. You guys are all working together. You know what I mean? Like you bounce stuff off of each other. You know,
it's not all business. Like we all talk about our kids, or, you know, if we got in a fight with our husband, or, you know, and it's not like, we're not business partners. We're friends. We're family. You know.
And you care about each other. You care about each other's success. You care about each other's happiness. And, you know, you work together when you need to. It's not all about like, oh, Courtney's always going for the touchdown. It's like, no, like, hey, you know, like this girl on my team, like I gave, you know, it was an assist or whatever, you know, what, I'm not that sporty, whatever, you know, but it's like you guys all work together.
I think you went to that reference because, you know, I'm sporty, but you're like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I was getting from football to hockey and I'm like, never mind, forget it. Like, I don't know what it's called in football. But you know, like all the pieces kind of work together, and it's like the bigger the team, the better. Like, why not, right? Yeah. So I think that's super cool. And obviously, like one of the things that I think is a huge highlight here is having that community, whether it's for your business or for your, you know, your fitness and health journey, or, you know, just motherhood or womanhood or life in general. Having people that are in your corner, especially now, like people are so spread out. People live so spread out from their family. You know, even if you live like where you live, you probably still have to sit in traffic even just to see your parents. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not like it used to be like my grandparents lived next door to us, you know, so it's a little bit different than it was like back in the day. So even just having an online space where you can go in, get support when you need it, get feedback when you need it, you know, have a shoulder or whatever to lean on when you need it. That is huge. So like I said, I'm glad that you brought up how valuable having a community is, because it really is in every aspect. It's such a like a deal breaker almost. Like it makes such a difference. Like if you go into it alone, you're just going to be lonely. If you have that network, then it's like, yeah, these girls get it. They get me. They've got my back, and they're pushing me along.
And it's a lot harder to fall off that way, because the second you're missing for like more than a day, like people start messaging you like, hey, what, are you okay? Are you sick? Like, is everything okay? So it's like, you can't fall off. It makes it almost like impossible to fall off, because the second like you're out of the loop for, I don't even want to say 24 hours. I feel like sometimes when I don't hear from someone within like 12 hours, I'm like, hey, like, are you sick? Did you work out today? Like, is everything okay? Like,
right. Exactly. And that's, whether business, because like for us, like we all talk pretty much every day in our business mastermind. And granted, we talk about all kinds of different stuff, but like there's business, there's the health stuff, and then there's like all the other kinds of different communities, whether it's like a friend community, a mom community, whatever, and then people are like, Amie, you didn't go to the last thing. Like you didn't even RSVP. Like, what's up with you? Or like, where are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, come hang out with us type of thing. So there's all those different components. But so I think you have kids banging on.
I hear. What? Okay, I'm almost done. Yeah? You want to say hi?
I want the other mini.
Okay, I'll turn it on in a minute. Can you say hi?
Mom, I will play with the toy
at her house. Okay, I'm almost done. I promise.
Ow.
Yeah, we can go to her house. She's got a pool and 2 little boys and horses.
Yeah.
Okay, go downstairs. I'll be right down. Okay, I'm almost done.
Look, they short.
Yeah, we can play with her toys later. Go. I'll be down in a minute, okay? And we'll go to the park. Okay, go. Go, please. What did I say?
No.
Okay, then we can't go to the park.
No.
Go, please. I'll be down in a minute.
No.
Okay, that's fine. Then we'll shut the door. She's going to stay.
So cute.
She's a mommy's little girl. We have a mommy and me night tonight for Mother's Day at her school, so she's all excited.
Oh, I love that. I love that they like make you little gifts and stuff. Like Easton gave me a little, it had his thumbprint in it. I like started getting like all teary eyed. I'm that mom. I'm like the Hallmark commercial mom, you know.
I'm not that mom.
Oh, how funny. Well, Courtney's got, it sounds like, a date at the park. So tell us a little bit about your gift. I'm going to post it.
Oh, yes. So I put together, it is a little blueprint. I want to say it's like 4 or 5 pages. I can't totally remember. But it's basically, Amy's talked a lot about how I'm kind of like, I'm a no bullshit coach. Like, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do and lay it all out for you. And it's up to you to do it or not. But, okay. Sorry, Brooklyn. Don't do that, please. So what it is your no bullshit guide to your badass body. And it's super simple. It's super easy. You fill it out. You go through the steps of, what it is you want to do. And then I tell you how to do it. So
that's what we all need.
Yeah, it's super easy. And that's what I try to tell everyone. Like, don't make it complicated. You don't need to cut carbs out of your life. You don't need to cut alcohol out of your life. You just need to balance it all out. And that's what, I'm here to help you do. So this is going to be your no bullshit, no whatever. It's just to your badass body. Super easy, super simple, and lay it all out for you. That's what I'm about. And it works with kids. I mean, I have 2 kids, and it is exactly what we do every day in our house.
She's your assistant. I love it. You guys, this is like seriously like
business plan.
It's a juggle and it's a balance. Some days you want to pull your hair out. Some days you're just like, oh my God, what have I got myself into?
Right.
But other days, like this whole week, I've woken up and I'm just like so full of like gratitude and like grateful. Like, I got up and I brushed my teeth and I was just like, life is good. Like, I'm so glad that I get to, even though like one of my kids goes to like preschool part-time.
Yeah, so does Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's just because he wants to, really. But
she would go every day if I let her. She doesn't want to be at home.
Right. Yeah, mine asked me if he could go. He was watching Toy Story 3 of all things, and he's like, Mom, I want to go with the toys to daycare. And I'm like, you're not going to daycare. Sorry, kid. Like,
yeah, right.
I have this plan, and I stay home with you, and you stay home with me. But then I was like, oh, well.
And they're like, no, we don't want you anymore. We want kids.
Yeah, we should let you go play with other kids. So he does that. But, it's just nice to be able to just get up, do what I want, do it how I want, say what I want. Like,
yeah. Not get up if you don't want to. I get up early, and literally these last 3 days, like, I was just like, my alarm went off, and I was like, meh, I'm going to go back to sleep. Not today.
Yeah, exactly. So. And you get to do that. Like, that.
And it wasn't always like that, but that's the whole point. It's like, if you want something more, you need to work for something a little bit more, and then it's going to pay tenfold over, and you're going to be working in Hawaii for 10 days like you just did,
I got to only stay for 7, but no.
But no, it's like we actually just got invited to a wedding in Hawaii in November, and 2 years ago or 4 years ago, we were invited to a wedding in Hawaii, and we couldn't go. We couldn't afford it. We couldn't get the time off of work. And I think back to this bachelorette party this weekend, like, I had a friend get married a couple years ago, and I couldn't afford to go to the bachelorette party. It's like, I couldn't afford. And this time it was like, oh, I got it, guys. Like, I'll buy this round of drinks. And like, you don't even bat an eye. And it's like the best freaking feeling in the world. Like, to be able to do whatever you want and not like think about the repercussions, like not have to be like, oh my God, do I have $100 in my account or not? Like,
right. And it's not overnight success. Like, yeah, you get the freedom, you get the success, you get all the things, but it doesn't happen overnight. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah. You can look at it. You just can't tear that one out because it has my notes on it. She drew on the back of one of my note pages. There you go.
I have one of my journals, Maddie colored on the back cover because all my journals are hard covers, which whatever. But yeah, like for you, it wasn't overnight success. You had to, you had to put in the work. You had to put in the belief. You had to do all the things to get here. But like you said, like it's paid off for you tenfold in so many ways, even more so than just getting a weekly paycheck from commissions and bonuses.
Well, and then for me too, it's helped. Like I didn't know how to eat or work out, and like now, like I'll come downstairs and my kids will have they have their own like little smaller equipment, and they'll have them out, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're doing workout class, Mom," or "Oh, like, let's make vegetables for dinner." And I'm like, I don't even like vegetables. You made a picture for her. Brooklyn made you a picture.
Let's see it, sweetie. Let's see it. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you. Oh, Amanda says, that's the hardest part, being patient with myself and my business. So here's the thing. When you love what you do, and even like, I'm sure, Courtney, you can totally relate to this. You know that what you do like changed your life. And so you just want to like get out there and be like,
I couldn't hear what you said.
It's going to change your life. And so you're so excited about it. But sometimes it takes other people to get like a little bit of momentum going before they're like, okay, yeah, I'm actually really excited about this too. So even like with you, Amanda, like once it starts rolling, then it's going to, that momentum just kind of snowballs.
I feel like it took me a good like year and a half to get like a decent momentum. Yeah. And a lot of that was on me too, because it's like everyone, like you get, you got to ride that high and then you go low. And it's like, you got to continue to, that's like everyone always tells me, like, how do you stay motivated? Like, how do you keep going? And it's like, there's no other choice. Like, this is what I want. So I need to go, and I'm going to go. Like,
well, and even like a brick and mortar, like normal traditional business, like think about a construction company, whether you're a plumber, maybe not plumbers, I don't know, because it seems like there's always a need for plumbers. But like, there's like there's always construction, which especially if you live, outside of Southern California, you're busy all summer, and then when the snow hits, so it's not just an online thing. It's not just a health and fitness thing. It's not just. It's not just, like us, and even like with you, Amanda, it's not just you. That's how it goes in business. There's really busy times when you just can't even stop working because it's so crazy busy. And then there's other times, when you're like, whew, okay, I can take a breather now, but crap, now it's slow. Like, now what? So, like you said, you have to ride the waves a little bit, but, so hang in there, Amanda, because I know your business and I know what you're doing, and it's about to explode. So, so just stay consistent. Consistency, I always say, is key, right? You would definitely have to.
Consistency is key, and that's what like I feel like in every job, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're getting a 9 to 5, you're in a 9 to 5. It's like you have your what I like to say, your bare minimum that needs to get done for that day. And so like for me, when I don't feel like doing anything, I do my core activities, which takes me like 30 minutes.
Right.
And then at least I know like I took care of the stuff that needs to be taken care of. And if I need a me day because I'm feeling X, Y, or Z, then I take that me day, I do my core, things, and then start fresh the next day.
But having that time to like, it's almost like I knew a lady at when I worked, in corporate, and at the end of every month after we did like our month end close for accounting, she would take a mental health day, and I was like, what is this lady's problem? And I'm like, who does that? And I was like, she just doesn't want to work. That was kind of like my mentality. And now I see it, like I get it, like, okay, like sometimes you just need like a day to decompress. You just need a day where you can step away from it all. And, and it's even like Sarah's told us, like sometimes when you just take a couple days off and take care of yourself, whatever that is, whether it's sitting in bed watching Netflix or, going on like a little adventure with your kids to Disneyland or whatever, she's like, that's when the ideas, like once you're refreshed, that's when all the ideas and the creativity and everything else kind of starts to flow in because you're refreshed. So So, I mean, now I get that, but in most places, if you told your boss, like, yeah, we were just really busy, I need a mental health day, they're going to like, go to window E, here's your check, you're fired. You know, like.
Right? Yeah.
So.
And it's so funny because, and people don't take, like, everyone always tells me, like, oh, don't you feel like you need to respond to everybody like that? I'm like, no. Like, when you tell them, like, oh, hey, sorry, I was playing with my kids, they're like, oh, my God, that's so cool. Like, they don't. And if they are going to be a bitch about it, then you're just like, okay. Like.
Well, and even, like, you know, because I do, like, one-on-one coaching with some of my clients, like, I can't just be like, oh, hey, Courtney, I know we're right in the middle of a session that you paid for. Like, can you hang on because somebody just pinged me on Messenger, you know, like, and people get that, like, oh, hey, sorry, I missed your call, or sorry, I missed your message. I was working with the client. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like
or if you respond like, hey, I'm not working today. Like, I'll be in touch with you tomorrow. They're like, oh, okay, no worries. Like, it's super, like, people aren't as inconsiderate as we all think they are, to be honest with you.
And, like, I typically don't work on Sundays. Like, if for some strange reason I'm like sitting around and the boys are sleeping and, you know, Corey's at work and I'm just like hanging out, like, yeah, I'll respond to an email or a message or whatever, but I typically don't. And that's something that that's something that I set ahead of time as like a boundary. Like, hey, I respond to emails and, you know, like text messages and stuff Monday through Friday. However, sometimes I do also do it on Saturdays, you know, because I do take clients.
I turn my phone off at 5:30 every night, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you do?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because then it's like I eat dinner with my family, I put my kids to bed, and then my husband and I have me time, us time, and you know, sometimes at 9 p.m. I will get my phone back out if I want to work, but most nights I don't.
Right. And that's good. That's like such a good boundary to set because even like with myself, like I like to talk a lot, like hence I have a show, like a talk show almost, you know, like whatever. Yeah. But like I have a hard time, like, so if I'm on the phone with a client and we're like right in the middle of like hashing something out, like I can't just tell them like, oh, you're 30 minutes or you're 60
I mean,
minutes.
you could, but that's not the type of person you are.
Yeah, like I just
be like, oh wait, you know, hold that thought. Do you want to pay for another 30 minutes?
Or can we talk about this next week or via email? It's like we're just gonna hash it out. And you know, that's why I don't have it. So like, okay, your call's at 11 to 12, and then the next call's at 12:05. Like I know myself better than that. You know, like the next call's not till 12:30 because first I need to refill my coffee, and second, I need to have that buffer in case we. Yeah. And that's not always the case. Like sometimes it's like, all right, well, we've been talking for 45 minutes. I got nothing else for you. Like I got all my questions answered. And so, you know, I kind of look at it as like, you know, the give and take part of it. So no, that's good. I like that you have such a clear boundary and just, I love your whole attitude about like, hey, if you don't like it, then
yeah. But like, and I was not always like that. And even still, I feel like certain people, I'm always super like, what are they going to think about me? Like everyone's that way, you know, but bottom line, I'm just like, you know what? F it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, and ultimately it's like, it's really hard, I think, for a lot of people. And I don't know if it's just like a society thing or where it stems from exactly. Maybe somebody would like to like hop on and enlighten me. I don't know. But we're always so concerned about like, well, what is
a really pretty rainbow for you?
You did? Thank you. I can't wait to see it. Like, we always are concerned, like, well, what are they going to think? Like, I don't know if it's like a work thing. Like, we're always concerned about keeping our bosses and managers and whatever happy. Look, you guys, I have like, we went to the aquarium yesterday at Legoland, and I have these stupid, oh, you can't see it probably. These stamps will not wash off. It's like Sharpie stamps. But like we have that ingrained in us, and I don't, like I said, I don't know where it comes from, but it is so freeing when you can finally say like, hey, I help, like, especially for you, like, I help other women feel like so confident about themselves. I help them find themselves again and help them get strong and fit and like love themselves. Like, and for somebody, like if someone told you that was stupid, you'd be like, hey, F off.
Yeah. Well, what I tell people, like where I come from on this mindset is I'm just like, you know what? Amy's going to judge me one way or the other. So I might as well like do whatever the hell I want, because whether it's good or bad, like you still have a thought about me, you know? So it's like, I might as well be happy with myself. Like, who cares what you think about me?
Exactly.
I think something, whether I do the right thing or the wrong thing, you know?
That's so true. I've never even really stopped to think about it that way. It's like, yeah, somebody will have an opinion about you, whether they like you, they love you, they don't like you, they're not so sure about you, they think you're kind of weird. Like, you know, whatever. I am kind of weird.
That's what I tell a lot of women who want to get started with me, like for coaching, or who want to be a coach like me, and they're so like, oh, I'm afraid of what people are going to think about me. And I'm like, they already think that about you, so you might as well do something you're going to enjoy, you know?
Yes, exactly. So, and it takes a lot. Because I used to tell people like, oh, I don't care what they think. But deep down inside, I did, you know, and then finally one day I was like, if somebody thinks that me helping women grow their business is stupid, they can seriously F off. And like, it was like, then I was just like, okay, now I really don't care what people think, because what I'm doing is a good thing. It's not like I'm out there like doing something bad, you know. It's like, this is going to help like society. This, you know, like even, you know, especially like Beachbody and other MLMs, they've helped so many women who are stay-at-home moms, say, who want to do something more, who want to be something more, who want to do more than fold laundry and wipe boogers all day. Like they want to have, you know, a bigger purpose. And not to say that staying at home with your kids is not a huge thing. Like that's huge. Like it's a lot of hard work, and it's awesome to be able to do that. But some people still they want more. And that's not anything to be ashamed of, in my opinion, you know, like,
or even working moms who want to be home, like, but they need the income. Like it's helped them be able to be home and still have that income.
Exactly. So it's and it's like, it's super funny because it's like a double-edged sword, right? Like, oh, if you work at home, then there's this type of stigma. If you work out of the home, then there's this type of stigma. If you're just stay at home and you don't do any work at all, then there's this type of stigma. So it's like, you really can't win, you know, in this whole like mom world, mom shaming and whatever. So yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's no right or wrong way to do it, you know. Just live your life and do what you want. That's what I say. But I will let you go have a fun date at the park with your little kids. And I won't
lunch.
I won't keep you.
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to have the podcast to share.
Yay!
So exciting.
I don't know exactly how long that's going to take, but it's in the works.
Oh, I know, but it's still exciting.
But it's not going to take that long, so probably within a couple weeks. And so yes, you're going to be a podcast star too. So so keep it up for that for sure. So you guys, make sure you check out the link. Let me show it on the screen again. Get Courtney's no nonsense way to like having your badass body. I'm gonna check it out. So make sure you check it out. If you need any help with your health, just like getting your body back, goals. If you just want to be part of Courtney's community so she can like kick your ass every day, feel free to reach out to her. If you want to start a business and work with Courtney, feel free to reach out to her. Again, absolutely. Make sure you check out this link. Again, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to get my butt kicked by Courtney, and we're going to go from there. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you, Courtney, for agreeing to come on here and join me in the craziness that I call the Moms Making Money Show. And you guys, if you have any questions, again, we launched the information about the recipe for success and the Moms Making Money retreat. So if you have any questions about that, just send me a message because I am not going to send it out.
Okay, she wants to show you her rainbow before you leave.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Thank you.
Okay.
You can bring it to me, okay? And I'll hang it in my office.
Perfect.
That's so sweet. Oh. So yes, make sure you check all that stuff out and reach out if you have any questions. And if you really need to get your butt kicked, Courtney's here. She's your girl. So so that's everything. And now I'm out of words, but thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. Again, if you're catching the replay, just type in replay and ask any questions, and one of us will get back to you. Talk to you guys all soon.